Hello, this is Mike Celestino, and this is the very first video I'm making for Laughing Place, and it's a review of this new Star Wars Lego set. It just came out a few weeks ago. It's called Betrayal at Cloud City, set number 75222. 2,812 pieces. It's a very big set. It's got a lot of cool features, a lot of nice minifigures, and it's inspired by the movie The Empire Strikes Back, which came out in 1980, one of my favorite movies of all time, so you can't go wrong there. So what we're going to do is open it up. I'll do kind of a speed build. We'll do like a time-lapse video so you can watch the full build in just a few minutes, and then I'm going to review the set. We'll talk about all the features and all of the minifigs that came with it. Let's get started, shall we? So what I've done here is I've opened up the box. I'm going to go ahead and dump out the contents on the table. Unsurprisingly, there is a lot of stuff in this box, including a smaller box inside. It says, "I've just made a deal that'll keep the Empire out of here forever. Lando Calrissian." So that's going to be part of the set inside there. And beyond the pieces, we've got a huge 400-page instruction manual and 2 sticker sheets. This looks like some of the Slave One here and the Cloud Cars, and then there's some of the decals for the interior hallways of Cloud City itself. But first there's a lot to organize and then a lot to build. So I'm going to get started here, and we should go into high-speed video right now. Okay, and here is the finished set, and it is a very big set. It's not the biggest set I've ever built personally, but it is probably the biggest set I've ever built in such a short amount of time. It took me the better part of a day to build this, and I don't recommend building it in one day. If you get this set, I would say probably take your time. Take 2, 3, maybe a week to put this together. You know, take your time with it, really enjoy it. Savor putting together these Legos. Don't rush it like I did, but for the purposes of this review, I wanted to get it built, and I want to kind of go through each little section and give you my thoughts. Overall, I think I really like this set. There's a lot that I love about it. There are things that I also don't like about it, but we're going to start with this section right here, and this is kind of the bright, happy area of Bespin Cloud City, where we first see the heroes arriving. You walk through these hallways with Han, Leia, and Lando. And this is when everything seems like it's going well. They've arrived, and Lando's going to help them with repairs. And they stay in this little fancy apartment area here on the side. I like that kind of weird sculpture thing in the middle. I like this fountain in the hallway. And then eventually they get to the dining room, and I really, really like what they've done here to recreate this. Right, and they come through that door there, and of course, who do they see but Darth Vader and Boba Fett standing on the other side. Let's see if we can get an angle of... There we go. So you got there, Vader and Boba Fett would be standing over there. Then they sit down for probably the most awkward dinner ever. Pretty sure they did that on Robot Chicken, right? And then you've got the darker side with darker colors to represent when things go south for our heroes here in Cloud City. This is kind of the torture room with that torture chair that Han gets strapped into. This is the hallway, the red hallway, where Darth Vader talks to Lando Calrissian and Boba Fett as Han is being tortured before they cart him away. And then this is the room where the Ugnaughts are playing with C-3PO as Chewbacca's trying to recover him. I like this too. I think it's odd that the conveyor belt here doesn't connect to the furnace, and also this furnace door doesn't close all the way. I think I built that right. I double checked it, but you think this would close and seal that door, but that's odd. Then you've got a landing pad for the Slave One, which is also included, this kind of mini build of the Slave One. There's a much larger version of that ship that you can buy, but it wouldn't fit anywhere on this model because it's way, way bigger. It's the UCS Ultimate Collector Series Slave One, which costs a lot and is very cool too. I don't have that one. And then you've got another landing pad here for this twin pod cloud car. This I like a little bit less, I think, than the Slave One that's included. It's very, very small. It's about as small as you could make it and still fit the minifigures inside. Then around this final side here is the carbon freezing chamber with the steps leading up over there, and then you've got the platform with the Han in carbonite block there that's also included. It's been in a few other sets before. And then this is the platform where Luke Skywalker fights Darth Vader, and spoiler alert, finds out that he is his father right there on that outcropping. And this part swings out too. You have to kind of disconnect this barricade there, and then this will swing out away from the rest of the set. Just to open it up, give it a little bit more playability, this part swings open, and then you can reattach this just by putting that in there. And the carbon freezing chamber actually has the coolest play feature of the entire set. Let me grab a minifigure over here and show you what this does. So put Han, regular Han here on that platform. And this is the version of Han right before he gets frozen. And then you just move this lever right here. And Han goes down. And the carbon frozen Han comes popping up there. I think that's pretty cool. And that was the most complicated part of this build, getting that mechanism to work. I was doing that late last night and my fingers just stopped responding. I'd been working on this all day and it was just the wrong time to build this part of the set, so I kind of put it away and came back to it this morning. But that's really, really neat. Let's put the carbon block back up there. And then let's talk about the rest of the minifigures, which I've got lined up over here. I think besides this area, which I love how they've recreated these parts of the movie pretty well, I would say my favorite part of the set is the minifigures. Other than that, it's a great assortment. And again, this is one of my favorite movies ever made, so it's great to have this version of all these characters. Now, Stormtroopers, of course, you get all the time in Star Wars Lego sets. Same with C-3PO and R2-D2 and Chewbacca. You see those all the time, but Darth Vader as well, of course. But the Bespin security guards here and here, there's two of them. Then you got the Cloud Car pilots here and here. I've never had those before. And you got that Han that I already showed you. This is Bespin Leia, which I love. I don't think that's ever been made before, as far as I know. And then you've got Han from after they leave Hoth, and Leia from the Hoth outfit there. You got one Ugnaught. You got Bespin Luke, which I've never had before. And then my two favorite figures, I put them out front here so you can see, are this blue outfitted Lando Calrissian and his compatriot Lobot, which I think this Lando has only ever been made once before in an old Cloud City set that's been long out of print. And I've never had a Lobot before either, so I'm so excited to have those. I love Lando's cape. It's got great detailing on the inside. And on the back of Lobot's head, you have this cybernetic implant there. Just really cool figures. The other two included are two bounty hunters. You got Boba Fett, of course, and IG-88, the assassin droid, who is in Bespin Cloud City. In the background of one shot, you can see him kind of turned off. He's like resting against the back wall of that Ugnaught room. And if you read this is going to be super nerdy, if you read the Tales of the Bounty Hunters book that came out probably 20 years ago or more, they tell the story of why he's there and how that factors in. Overall, I think this set has really cool design in the interiors. Those are my favorite parts. I like, it's hard to get the camera in here, but you got a cool, like, weird piece of artwork here. There's neat little chandeliers. There's like a mini model of Cloud City here in the dining room. Another little chandelier there on the left. So these areas are my favorite part. And I always, as a Lego fan and as a Star Wars fan, I always prefer play sets to ships. So in my opinion, they could have built this set and only included this area and this area, and I would have been really satisfied. Because I've already got, there's a carbon freezing chamber set that came out a while ago. You know, there's been Slave ones before. But I just like having these areas of Cloud City And I don't think they needed to put as much effort as they did into making this look like kind of a saucer shape. There's a lot of bricks and building that went into building the platform that all this goes on. And I think that would have been better spent kind of fleshing out the interiors more. That's more of what my interest is in this set. So I went ahead and put some of the figures, some of the minifigures around where they might appear in the movie, just to give you an idea of how they look around the set. And one of the other little features I wanted to show you before I wrap up here is how some of the doors open. This door slides left to right, but this one over here opens up that way, vertically, and then you can lock it with this little pin here. So it stays open like that, and the same thing happens to this door. That works the same way. Then you can pull the pins and they'll drop. And there's a third one right here that does that as well. Going out to where C-3PO gets shot by the stormtroopers. And that little, I like the pipes, the pipe detail in that room there. There's a trap door here to get to the underside of Cloud City. And that's pretty much it. I like also this kind of mini build on the top. I think kind of representing the whole of Cloud City. But again, I don't think that kind of stuff is necessary. This was actually, this part here, these dividers, was my least favorite part of the actual construction of this set. Otherwise, I thought it was really fun to build this whole thing. A lot of variety, a lot of different types of techniques and areas. But again, I think they put too much effort into making it into this shape. That would be my main critique. And I didn't really need the landing platform and the ships to go along with this. I think if you're going to make ships, they can probably be separate. You can buy them separately, make them a little bit bigger, more to scale. But otherwise, I really like this set. It's very pricey, obviously. It's a big one. It's one of the bigger Star Wars play sets from LEGO. But if you're a fan of The Empire Strikes Back, if you're a fan of these characters, if you're a fan of this location, it's probably going to be a must-own for a lot of people. And with that, this is Mike Celestino from Laughing Place, signing off. Thank you so much for watching.